Payback. Israel attacks Palestinian targets after a bloody weekend of suicide bombings tonight. Can anyone stop this violence? Terror threat. Another warning tonight from the government that America must stay on the alert for more attacks. In depth, the young American who became a Taliban fighter, what his parents think, and what will happen to him now. And Lifeline, our special series on women's health. The disease robs millions of women and men of their sight, but now there's something you can do to help stop it.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. It is already early Tuesday morning in Israel and the Palestinian areas, but no one expects a new day to bring an end to what is effectively now a war in progress. The use of Israeli aircraft to attack very close to Yasser Arafat's headquarters, retaliation for the weekend suicide bombings. Those raids have the support of President Bush in Washington and a promise from the Israelis that there's more to come. All of us, as Americans in this country, were told tonight they must stay on the alert for still more terrorist attacks. We're going to begin tonight, however, in the Middle East, in Israel. NBC's Keith Miller on this day of war. Keith?
Israel's military remains on high alert tonight following airstrikes against two cities in Palestinian territory. The attacks were swift and carried a clear message. The first target, the compound of Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat in the Gaza Strip. Helicopter gunships fired missiles into Arafat's aircraft hangar, destroying his helicopters and hitting an underground fuel depot.
It's a signal to Mr. Arafat that his personal ability to control the situation and to move around will be crippled by the Israelis.
Panic broke out when Israeli gunships opened fire with machine guns. More than a dozen people injured. At the time of the raids, Arafat was in the West Bank town of Ramallah meeting with European officials. Israeli F-16 warplanes also hit a police station in the northern town of Jenin, a reputed staging ground for suicide bombers.
We are under heavy siege as authority, as people.
What sparked these retaliatory strikes by Israel? 3 suicide bombings over the weekend, which killed 26 and wounded more than 200. Sharon cut short his meetings with President Bush in Washington to return home to confront the crisis. Tonight, Sharon addressed the nation, saying war had been imposed on Israel by terrorists and accused Arafat of supporting them.
Arafat, no doubt, he is the one who is responsible for this terror, and we will have to take the necessary steps, which we'll decide in due time.
The Islamic militant group Hamas, which claimed responsibility for the suicide bombings, today released a video of one of the bombers, a 21-year-old plumber from the West Bank. As Israel buried its dead, Hamas supporters staged a memorial for the suicide bomber. Tonight, the West Bank is under a state of emergency. Both Israelis and Palestinians are bracing for more attacks. Arafat is calling for an urgent meeting of Muslim states, and tonight Israeli tanks have put a blockade on all major Palestinian cities. Tom?
NBC's Keith Miller tonight. Thanks very much. For a long time now, the most durable political leader in the Middle East has been Yasser Arafat, but his world is now closing in on him from all sides. As NBC's Andrea Mitchell reports tonight, this time Arafat has fewer friends and fewer options.
For the United States, the suicide bombers hit another target, the administration's new peace initiative, less than a week old. Israelis are angry. Instead of brokering peace, in Jerusalem, American mediator, retired Marine General Anthony Zinni, is heckled yesterday. And now U.S. officials are asking tough questions about Yasser Arafat. If he can't or won't control terror, how can he negotiate peace? The Secretary of State tells the Palestinian leader, this is your moment of truth. Don't just round up the usual suspects. Prove you can stop the terrorists. But they say Arafat's roundup of more than 100 suspects today is not enough.
The president thinks that this is the chance now for Yasser Arafat to demonstrate real leadership.
After 14 months of violence by radical groups like Hamas, does Arafat even have the power to control the terrorists?
He either acts now, or it will be over for him. And we will be in a new realm in which we'll have to look for alternative leaders.
The president snubbed Arafat at the UN last month, wouldn't even shake his hand because he had not prevented earlier attacks. Now even Palestinians are losing faith in him.
They see in him a weak leader who's not delivering either a military option or a peace option.
But U.S. officials say if not Arafat, who? They say any possible successor would be either too weak or too radical. Another problem, Iran, a crucial player in the war against the Taliban. The U.S. and Iranian President Khatami have been cozying up to each other carefully. But tonight, U.S. officials tell NBC News Iran spends tens of millions of dollars supporting Hamas, the very group claiming responsibility for these attacks on Israel. Another reason this crisis is so hard to solve. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News at the State Department.
And while that was going on in the Middle East, in this country, the Director of Homeland Security made a late afternoon appearance to warn